Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are wrestling with a question that, on the surface, feels like a contradiction.
Right.
Can the cold, hard efficiency of HR automation actually be the key to igniting, genuinely warm employee engagement?
It's a great question.
We've gathered a stack of really fascinating sources that suggest trading in all that manual busy work for streamlined digital systems. Well, it isn't just a cost-cutting measure.
No, it's much more than that.
It seems to be the fastest route to a happier, more focused, and therefore a more productive workforce.
And it's absolutely critical that we start by defining the massive, the financial urgency behind this whole thing.
Okay.
We're not just talking about minor workplace annoyances. Not at all.
This is bigger.
Much bigger. When you look at the sheer scale of the productivity drain in the U.S., experts estimate that low productivity, disengagement, all those workplace distractions, they cost organizations over $500 billion a year.
Wow. Say that number again?
Over $500 billion. With a B.
$500 billion? That number should make every CEO just sit straight up.
It should.
It means that the friction, the frustration that we often just dismiss as, oh, that's just part of the job,
Right.
is actually a systemic, multi-billion-dollar problem.
It really is.
And that underscores why our mission today is so vital. We need to understand exactly how automation, and it doesn't matter if you're in an office, fully remote, or hybrid,
Right, any setting.
how it's designed to stop that financial bleed by cutting down on all those mundane, repetitive tasks that serve as these huge distractions.
And in the end, improve the entire work environment for everyone. So let's jump straight into that core argument.
Let's do it.
The sources are, well, they're extremely clear on this. Repetitive tasks and outdated technology are engagement killers.
Engagement killers.
We see a direct causal link between having employees do these boring, routine jobs over and over.
Like what? Chasing signatures?
Chasing signatures, manually updating spreadsheets that should auto-populate,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. There's a link between that and alarmingly high employee turnover rates.
So businesses are struggling to keep talent because the work is just miserable.
Frankly, yes. When the technology you're forced to use is antiquated, the whole experience becomes miserable.
And that misery factor, that has to directly impact retention.
Oh, absolutely.
If I'm spending 2 hours a week doing something an automated script could do in, 2 seconds, I'm going to start looking at competitors who promise a more modern, frictionless environment.
Of course you are. And that's precisely where business process outsourcing, or BPO, which really leans on automation, comes in.
We usually think of BPO as like external firms.
We do,
Yeah.
but internally, the core benefit is time. It gives every single employee more time to focus on the truly strategic, the complex, the human-centric jobs.
That's such a critical point. It's the humanizing element of automation, isn't it?
It is. Nobody wants their evening or their weekend spent catching up on paperwork that offers, zero strategic value.
None.
By automating those chores, you're essentially gifting your employee back their personal time. You're helping them maintain a better work-life balance.
And when we look at the specific tools mentioned, things like project management software, automated task systems, even time tracking.
Right. Their whole purpose, their strategic design, is to reduce the cognitive load of all that routine management.
It's about removing the mental friction. I often think of it like driving a manual car with a bad clutch versus a modern automatic.
That's a great analogy.
Both get you there, but one requires this constant grinding effort just to keep moving, while the other frees you up to, pay attention to the road.
Exactly. Reducing the chaos of manual processes directly improves focus time and, like we said, significantly lowers that turnover rate. The machine handles the grinding gears so the person can focus on navigation.
Okay, so once that administrative grinding is gone, what happens next? This is where we move from just efficiency to genuine enrichment.
This is the really transformative part.
So if employees aren't tied down by endless admin tasks, automation creates the mental bandwidth, the actual opportunity for them to focus on self-improvement.
That is perhaps the biggest benefit. When that time is freed up, employees are encouraged to shift their focus from input to output.
So they're building skills.
They're building skills, becoming more proficient, and ultimately just far more productive. And the sources really emphasize that this new time should be used to explore time management and focus techniques.
What kind of techniques are we talking about here?
Well, the material specifically highlights methods that help manage concentrated effort. Things like the Pomodoro technique.
Right, the 25-minute sprints.
Exactly. working in focused 25-minute bursts, short break, and then back at it. Or practicing rigorous time blocking to dedicate specific calendar slots to high-value tasks.
So this isn't just about doing their job faster. It's about a better way of doing their job.
100%. It's moving from being reactive to being proactive and strategic.
And for organizations to really capitalize on that, they have to facilitate what the sources call deep work.
Yes.
Because if you automate the noise but then allow constant interruptions, you've gained nothing.
You've gained absolutely nothing.
And this requires some simple but really strategic shifts in the culture. We're talking about things like encouraging everyone to use do not disturb settings.
And optimizing meeting times aggressively. Reduce those unnecessary interruptions that just shatter concentration.
Think about the average day for a knowledge worker.
It's chaos.
They might have 2 hours saved by automation, but if they get pinged on Slack or email every 4 minutes, that time is worthless.
It's completely worthless.
Yeah.
Facilitating deep work means respecting that focused time as a valuable organizational asset, not just a personal preference.
Treating focus as a resource that has to be protected.
Precisely. So when we look at where HR automation is being deployed, we see this systematic approach. It stretches across the entire employee lifecycle.
Okay.
We move from the purely operational side, the core HR and talent management, all the way to the high-touch employee experience side.
Let's unpack the operational side first, because that's where you find the initial measurable ROI, right?
That's where the quick wins are. On the operational front, automation is totally reshaping huge processes like onboarding and offboarding.
So with automated workflows for new hires, what exactly are these systems taking off a manager's plate?
They're handling the digital flow of every mandatory document. Then contracts, policy acknowledgments, benefits enrollment, IT provisioning.
All the stuff that used to take weeks of back and forth emails.
Exactly. It's all triggered and tracked automatically. And the numbers here are pretty compelling. The claim is that with automated onboarding, businesses can cut the total onboarding time by a massive 60%.
60%.
And make the new hire's ramp-up period 3 times quicker.
That's huge. That speed means the new employee feels competent and valued right away, not just frustrated by paperwork.
An immediate quantifiable return. And it addresses that frustration point on day one.
So beyond the initial hire, where else does automation manage the admin essentials?
It handles the fundamental compliance and data logistics. It starts with centralizing all employee data in an HRIS system.
Which, for listeners, is a human resources information system.
Right. It's your single digital file cabinet for every piece of employee information. It replaces all those scattered spreadsheets and paper files.
And this system then tracks things like PTO,
vacation requests. It manages attendance with time clock software. And very importantly, it simplifies complex regulatory headaches like I-9 compliance.
And anyone who's had to manually track I-9s knows that simplifying that process alone is worth the investment.
It really is. It takes a tedious, high-risk requirement and just turns it into a structured digital workflow.
Okay, what else on the operational side?
Then you have the automation within the talent flow systems. This includes the Recruit ATS, the applicant tracking system.
Right, for job postings.
For job postings, filtering, evaluating candidates efficiently. It makes sure candidates get a fast, professional response, which improves the candidate experience, even for people you don't hire.
Good point.
And finally, performance management tools automate goal setting and create these continuous digital feedback loops. You move away from the dreaded annual review to ongoing coaching.
So that covers the operational plumbing, making sure everything works quickly and efficiently. But the sources also detail the employee experience side.
Yes.
The tools designed to boost connection, culture, communication, which are so crucial in hybrid setups.
That's the user interface on top of the automated plumbing. And the communication layer is absolutely essential.
So internal comms platforms.
Internal communication platforms, customizable group channels for targeted messaging. Critically, these tools let you broadcast company announcements and actually track who has acknowledged them.
So you know who's read the important stuff.
Exactly. And, increasingly vital, centralized crisis communication tools for instantaneous, reliable messaging when you need it most.
And what about the tools for daily culture and connection?
That suite is all about digital community building. It includes the employee intranet, the company's digital HQ, a visual directory and org chart so people can find who they need quickly, a content management system to store and share policies, training videos, all that essential info, and even digital signage.
To reach people who aren't at a desk.
Precisely. People on a manufacturing floor or in a retail store. Automation provides the efficiency, these tools provide the culture.
Building on that culture theme, let's talk about recognition. It's mentioned over and over in the sources as this huge emotional and cultural driver.
It has to be central to the strategy. It's often seen as, soft HR, but it's not.
And there's a specific stat on this,
A
right?
staggering one. The source material says that recognition, when it's done effectively, drives 12 times higher engagement.
12 times.
Think about that multiplier. If you want engaged, loyal, productive people, you need a robust, consistent, and easy-to-use recognition program.
So how do these recognition platforms actually work? It can't just be a digital suggestion box.
No, it's highly automated and integrated into the employee's entire journey. They make recognition visible and instant, which boosts morale. They allow for personalized rewards tied to milestones or goals.
And they can also run automated company challenges.
Yes, things like fitness contests or training sprints. It creates more dynamic, engaged culture. It shifts recognition from, a forced annual event into a daily cultural habit that technology makes easy.
That continuity is huge. Now, complementing that are the physical and mental productivity boosters.
Right. These aren't automated tools themselves, but they optimize the human to take advantage of the focus that automation enables.
So if you automate the friction, the employee needs to be in peak condition to use that new time for deep work.
Exactly. Physically, we're talking about things like ergonomic furniture, standing desks, supportive chairs, and making sure workstations have access to natural light.
Small things that make a big difference.
They combat fatigue and improve focus. And then on the mental side, the sources suggest simple, practical tips.
Like what?
They encourage short, structured meditation sessions, even 5 minutes, to reset focus. They promote using noise-canceling headphones as a defense against interruptions.
Tactical digital boundaries too, I imagine.
Yes, like using website blockers or screen time limits during deep work blocks. And of course, the simple power of a clutter-free desk. Automation handles the data flow. These tips help the employee handle the mental flow.
The benefits are clear, but we know new tech can be a huge hurdle. If an employee has been doing payroll the same way for 20 years, asking them to switch can create, well, a lot of resistance.
And fear.
How do you facilitate a smooth transition?
This is a change management issue, not just a technology issue. You have to address that hesitation proactively. There are 5 key steps.
Okay.
First and most important, allow employees to actually test new solutions before they're fully implemented.
So they're part of the process.
They become part of the solution, not just recipients of change.
Yeah.
It generates buy-in.
And once they're on board, you can't just mandate it, right?
Absolutely not. Second, you must have a detailed plan for implementation and training. And this needs to be ongoing, accessible training, not a single 1-hour seminar.
Step 3.
The transition has to be slow and steady. You phase it in, let workflows stabilize.
And I assume the feedback loop needs to be wide open.
Critically. Step 4. You must regularly meet with employees at all levels to discuss problems and to continually audit and improve the tech's integration.
It's not set it and forget it.
Never. It requires constant calibration to the human element it serves.
And the sources strongly emphasize getting technical expertise involved.
Yes, that's step 5. IT professionals are non-negotiable partners here.
Why?
They help you find the right software that integrates with what you already have. They manage the complicated implementation. And crucially, when problems pop up, and they will, an IT pro can fix them quickly.
So the benefits aren't undermined by tech instability.
Precisely.
This has been an incredibly deep look at automation. The ultimate takeaway seems to be that this isn't about cutting costs or replacing people.
Not at its core.
It's about shifting the burden of repetitive, mundane tasks onto technology to free up human capital for creativity, for skill development, for high-level engagement.
It transforms HR from an administrative overhead function into a strategic experience driver that fights that $500 billion productivity loss we started with.
Exactly. We started with the cost of distraction, and we're ending with the strategic solution of clarity.
The whole goal is to minimize distraction and optimize the employee experience, especially in this complicated hybrid world. The sources suggest optimizing communication and creating clear psychological boundaries between work mode and home mode is key.
Okay.
So, for you, the listener, we'll leave you with this question to think about. Considering how central communication is in this new automated world, what's one single friction-inducing communication process in your current organization?
Maybe how feedback is delivered or how announcements are acknowledged.
Right. What's one thing that, if automated today, would immediately create more focus, more clarity, and less administrative noise for your team. Think about the distraction you could eliminate right now.